Welcome to our deep dive into War and Peace.
Yep.
I know it's a classic.
Yeah.
It's one of those books you might have on your shelf but haven't gotten around to yet.
Right.
But trust me,
Okay.
it's so much more than just battles and 19th century Russian names.
Absolutely.
We're going to explore some really juicy excerpts today.
Okay.
Scenes from high society, military life, and those deep internal monologues that Tolstoy is so famous for.
Yes. Tolstoy is a master of those internal monologues, bringing the reader right inside the character's head.
Exactly.
And we're not going to make you wade through all 1,200 pages either.
Oh, no.
Think of this as a greatest hits experience.
Okay.
With a little expert commentary to help you understand why this book has resonated with readers for centuries.
I love it.
Yeah.
So to kick things off, let's dive right into the drama.
Okay.
We're starting with a high society soiree hosted by Anna Pavlovna Scherer.
This scene is pure Tolstoy. A whirlwind of gossip, political maneuvering, and subtle social climbing.
Oh, wow.
Everyone's trying to figure out who holds the real power, who's in favor, who's out.
It's almost like a game,
Absolutely.
isn't it? Everyone
Yeah.
playing their part, putting on a show.
Exactly. And one of the things Tolstoy does so brilliantly is use his descriptions to instantly reveal the characters' true selves.
Yeah.
Take Prince Vasily, for example.
Okay.
He's described as an actor repeating a stale part.
Wow, that's a powerful image.
It is.
In just a few words, you understand that he's all about appearances, more concerned with playing a role than being genuine.
Exactly. And this scene isn't just about showcasing the shallowness of high society.
Right.
Tolstoy uses it to set up the larger tensions that will unfold throughout the book.
Oh, okay.
Even before war breaks out, you can sense the competition, the simmering conflicts beneath the surface of this polished world.
It reminds me of those situations where it feels like everyone's more concerned with how they're perceived than who they really are. Like those networking events where it's all smiles and handshakes, but you can sense the undercurrent of ambition and rivalry.
Absolutely.
Tolstoy captures that feeling so perfectly.
He does. And from the glittering ballrooms of high society,
Okay.
Tolstoy takes us into the mind of a man grappling with much deeper questions. Prince Andrei Bolkonsky.
Prince Andrei. Now, he's a complicated character.
He is.
He's a war hero, intelligent,
Yeah.
but also deeply dissatisfied with his life.
Andrei embodies a central theme of the novel, the search for meaning.
Okay.
He has achieved success by worldly standards, yet he feels an emptiness, a longing for something more.
Yeah.
His internal struggle is one that many of us can relate to, even today.
There's a particularly striking scene where Andrei encounters an old oak tree.
Yes.
It's springtime and the tree is bare, seemingly lifeless.
Uh-huh.
This image becomes a powerful symbol of Andrei's own state of mind.
Right.
He's feeling stuck, unable to see the possibility of renewal or growth.
That scene is significant for another reason as well.
Okay.
It reflects Tolstoy's own spiritual journey.
Really?
He went through periods of deep questioning and doubt, and those experiences are woven into many of his characters, especially Andrei.
So even though we're dealing with a Russian prince from centuries ago,
Right.
his feelings of being lost and searching for a new path are surprisingly relatable.
Yes.
We've all had those moments where we question our purpose,
Absolutely.
our direction in life.
But Tolstoy doesn't leave us in this state of existential gloom.
Okay, good.
He introduces us to another character who offers a completely different perspective on life.
Right.
Natasha Rostova.
Ah, Natasha. She's like a burst of youthful energy
Yes.
and passion compared to the brooding Andrei.
Yeah.
She's full of life, impulsive, and deeply emotional.
Natasha represents another way of experiencing the world, one that's driven by feeling, connection, and a zest for life.
I like her already.
Yeah.
So is Tolstoy saying that one approach to life is better than the other?
No, not at all.
Okay.
He's presenting us with these contrasting personalities, these different ways of navigating the complexities of life, and inviting us to draw our own conclusions.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
One scene that really captures Natasha's essence is when she sings at a soiree.
Oh, yes.
It's not just a performance.
Right.
It's an outpouring of emotion that affects everyone in the room.
Tolstoy uses music brilliantly in that scene to convey something that words alone can't express.
Wow.
It's about the power of art to transcend boundaries, to create a sense of shared experience and connection.
It's like when you hear a song that just moves you deeply, that speaks to something inside you.
Exactly.
Tolstoy captures that feeling perfectly.
He does, but of course we can't talk about war and peace without addressing the war itself.
That's right.
Yes.
How does Tolstoy, a veteran himself, approach this massive, world-altering conflict?
Well, unlike many war novels, War and Peace doesn't focus on grand strategies or political maneuvering.
Okay.
Instead, Tolstoy brings us right into the heart of the action, focusing on the human impact of war.
I see.
He shows us the chaos and confusion of battle through the eyes of ordinary soldiers, making even the smallest moments feel significant.
I'm thinking of the scene where Nikolai Rostov,
Oh, yeah.
Natasha's brother, experiences his first battle.
Yes.
It's a whirlwind of noise, fear, adrenaline, and then this sudden, unexpected feeling of elation.
Exactly. And Tolstoy's descriptions are so visceral.
Yeah.
So grounded in his own experiences as a soldier that you feel like you're right there with Rostov.
Wow.
Experiencing the terror and the thrill of battle firsthand.
Even though most of us will never face cannon fire,
Right.
There's something universally relatable about that scene.
Yes.
It speaks to the nature of courage, the way fear and exhilaration can coexist in those moments of extreme pressure.
And it raises an important point.
Okay.
While Tolstoy vividly depicts the physical dangers of war, he also explores another kind of battle that rages within his characters.
What's that?
The battle for meaning.
Ah, that makes sense. We've seen Andrei struggling with his purpose, searching for something beyond the emptiness of his privileged life.
Right.
And we've seen Pierre, Natasha's future husband,
Yes.
stumbling through life, trying to find something to believe in.
And as the war unfolds, these internal struggles become even more pronounced.
Oh, I see.
Pierre, in particular, is drawn to the ideals of Freemasonry.
Wait, Freemasonry?
Yes.
Like the secret society with all the rituals and symbols?
Exactly.
Wow, didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Well, this is fascinating.
It is.
So we've got war, we've got love, we've got existential pondering, all within the first few hundred pages. It's amazing how Tolstoy manages to weave together all these different threads.
And that's just the beginning.
Oh, no.
There's so much more to unpack as we delve deeper into War and Peace.
I can't wait.
But what stands out to you so far? Which character or theme has resonated most with you?
It's hard to choose just one. I think what strikes me most is how Tolstoy manages to make these characters from another time and place feel so real, so human. Their struggles, their joys, their search for meaning. It's all something we can connect with even today.
I agree, and I think that's one of the reasons why War and Peace continues to captivate readers centuries after it was written.
It's a reminder that no matter how much the world changes,
Right.
certain fundamental human experiences remain timeless.
Precisely. And as we continue our deep dive,
Okay.
I want you to keep this question in mind.
All right, shoot.
In a world filled with both dazzling beauty and unspeakable suffering, how do we find meaning, purpose, and connection?
That's a profound question.
It is.
And one that we'll continue to explore as we journey further into the world of War and Peace.
Yes.
I'm ready when you are.
All right, let's go.
Welcome back to our deep dive into War and Peace.
Good to be back.
Last time we left off with Pierre's growing fascination with the Freemasons and Prince Andrei searching for something to believe in. It's almost like both of them are on these parallel journeys, wouldn't you say?
Yes, and it's interesting how Tolstoy contrasts their approaches.
Okay.
Andrei is more introspective, turning inward for answers, while Pierre seeks external structures and systems to guide him.
Right.
His foray into Freemasonry is a prime example of this.
We touched on the fact that Pierre's drawn to the ideals of Freemasonry, seeing it as a path towards becoming a better person. Can you unpack that a little more? What exactly is it about the Freemasons that appeals to him?
Remember, Pierre is inheriting a massive fortune.
Right.
But he's also plagued by uncertainty and a sense of unworthiness.
Oh.
The Freemasons, with their emphasis on brotherhood, morality, and self-improvement, offer him a structured path toward a more meaningful life.
There's that scene with the elaborate initiation ceremony.
Oh, yes.
All very symbolic and ritualistic. It almost feels like Pierre is shedding his old skin, being reborn into a new way of being.
Exactly.
Right.
The oaths, the secret signs, the sense of belonging to something larger than himself, these elements are all part of the transformative appeal of Freemasonry for Pierre.
It sounds intense.
It is.
Does he actually put these principles into action, though?
He tries to.
Okay.
He frees his serfs, dedicates himself to charitable work,
Wow.
and genuinely strives to live up to the Masonic ideals.
He sounds like he's really trying to change.
He is, but Tolstoy, being Tolstoy,
Uh-oh.
doesn't let things remain so simple and idealistic.
Here comes the but.
Right.
There's always a but with Tolstoy.
Yes.
Does Pierre ultimately find what he's looking for in Freemasonry?
He doesn't.
Okay.
As Pierre becomes more deeply involved, he begins to see the hypocrisy within the organization itself.
What do you mean?
The same petty rivalries, power struggles.
Oh, no.
And focus on outward appearances that he witnessed in high society seem to plague even this supposedly enlightened group.
So it's like that saying, wherever you go, there you are. You can't escape the complexities of human nature, even in a group that claims moral superiority.
That's one of Tolstoy's key insights.
I see.
He constantly peels back layers of society, revealing the flaws and inconsistencies, even in those who claim to be above such things.
So even the Freemasons aren't perfect?
No one is.
What happens to Pierre after this?
Pierre's disillusionment with Freemasonry is a crucial step in his long and winding journey toward finding his own truth.
So even though it's a disappointment, it pushes him forward.
It does.
Okay.
It forces him to confront the fact that true meaning can't be found in any external system or organization.
Right.
It has to come from within.
So while Pierre is on this internal quest, what's happening in the larger world of the novel?
Well, the war that has been looming in the background moves to center stage.
Okay.
Tolstoy shifts his focus from individual characters to the forces of history depicting the sheer scale and chaos of Napoleon's invasion of Russia.
So it's no longer just skirmishes and battles.
Well,
it's an entire nation at war. What kind of impact does this have on the story?
Tolstoy doesn't shy away from the brutal realities.
Oh.
We see entire cities burning, families fleeing, and the Russian army desperately trying to hold back the seemingly unstoppable French forces.
We briefly mentioned the burning of Moscow earlier.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on why that event is so significant, both in terms of the plot and thematically?
The burning of Moscow is a pivotal turning point in the novel.
Okay.
Strategically, it's a devastating loss for the Russians.
Right.
But it also marks a shift in their approach to the war.
In what way?
They're forced to adopt a scorched earth policy,
Yeah.
denying Napoleon's army supplies and resources as they advance.
I've heard that term, scorched earth. Can you clarify what it means in this context?
Essentially, it means destroying anything that could be of use to the enemy. Crops, livestock,
Wow.
even entire villages.
It sounds brutal.
It is a brutal tactic, but it ultimately weakens Napoleon's army and contributes to their eventual defeat.
So it's a victory born out of a devastating loss. It speaks to the complexities of war, how even the most desperate measures can have unforeseen consequences.
Exactly. And on a thematic level, the burning of Moscow reinforces Tolstoy's ideas about the futility of war and the resilience of the human spirit.
Okay.
Despite their losses, the Russian people are unwilling to surrender their homeland.
So amidst all this upheaval,
Mm-hmm.
what happens to Pierre and André?
Their lives are irrevocably changed by the war.
In what way?
Pierre, caught in the chaos of Moscow, witnesses the horrors firsthand
Oh, wow.
and is even captured by the French.
Captured.
Yes.
Wow, I don't remember that from my reading.
It's a harrowing experience for him, but also a transformative one.
Okay.
He's forced to confront the fragility of life, the cruelty of war, and the depth of human suffering.
It sounds like a lot to process,
It is.
but it sounds like it changes him for the better.
It strips away his illusions and forces him to grapple with fundamental questions about existence. So even in captivity, amidst hardship and loss, Pierre continues to evolve to move closer to that inner truth he's been seeking.
Wow. And what about André?
André's experience is equally profound, though much more tragic.
Oh.
He suffers a mortal wound in battle. And as he lies, dying comes to a profound realization about the futility of war and the importance of love and forgiveness.
That's heartbreaking, but also incredibly moving.
It is.
Even in the face of death, André finds a kind of peace, a resolution to his internal struggles.
His death is a powerful reminder that meaning can be found even in the most difficult circumstances.
Yes.
And it speaks to Tolstoy's belief that love and compassion are the ultimate antidotes to the destructive forces of war and hatred.
So we have Pierre wrestling with his newfound understanding of life.
Right.
And André finding peace in his final moments.
Yeah.
What about Natasha? How does she navigate this tumultuous time?
Natasha, like so many others, experiences profound loss and grief.
Of course.
That she also demonstrates incredible strength and resilience. She dedicates herself to caring for the wounded, finds solace in her family, and eventually finds love again.
So even amidst all the tragedy, there's still hope.
There is.
It's like she embodies the enduring spirit of the Russian people, their ability to find hope and meaning, even amidst unimaginable suffering.
And this brings us to another crucial aspect of Tolstoy's depiction of war.
What's that?
It's not just about battles and strategies.
Okay.
It's about the countless individual stories, the acts of courage, compassion, and resilience that occur even in the darkest of times.
So he wants us to see the human faces behind the grand historical narratives.
Exactly.
That's a really powerful reminder that even amidst the chaos and destruction of war, life goes on.
Yes.
People continue to love to grieve, to find moments of joy and connection.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the things that makes War and Peace such a timeless and relevant work. It speaks to the enduring power of the human spirit to find meaning and purpose even in the face of adversity.
This deep dive is really giving me a new appreciation for the depth and complexity of War and Peace.
Good.
It's more than just a war story. It's a reflection on life itself.
And we're not finished yet.
Oh.
There's still much more to explore, including the aftermath of the war and the ultimate fates of our characters.
I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Welcome back to our deep dive into War and Peace.
It's good to be back.
We left off with Pierre grappling with the realities of war as a prisoner.
Right.
And Andre finding a kind of peace in his final moments.
Yeah.
It feels like the characters, along with Russia itself, have been through the fire, so to speak.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
The war has irrevocably changed the landscape, both physically and emotionally.
So as we move into this final section,
Right.
we see the characters in Russia emerging from the ashes, trying to rebuild and make sense of what they've endured.
Exactly.
So where do we pick up with Pierre?
Well, his captivity becomes a turning point for him. Stripped of his wealth and status, forced to confront the most basic aspects of human existence, Pierre undergoes a profound spiritual transformation.
I see.
He emerges with a newfound clarity, a deeper understanding of himself and his place in the world.
It's almost as if all the external trappings of his life were stripped away, allowing him to see what truly matters.
Right.
Does he return to his old life?
Not exactly.
Okay.
He realizes that the pursuit of wealth and social standing that once consumed him is ultimately meaningless.
So what does he do? Where does this newfound purpose lead him?
He finds meaning in simple acts of kindness in connecting with others and in contributing to something larger than himself.
What about Natasha?
He rekindles his relationship with Natasha,
Oh, wow.
who has also undergone a significant transformation through her own experiences of loss and growth.
It's beautiful how their journeys, though vastly different, ultimately lead them back to each other.
Yes.
They've both been through the fire and emerged stronger, more authentic versions of themselves.
Exactly. And their reunion speaks to one of the novel's central themes, the enduring power of love and connection, even in the face of adversity.
It's a testament to the human capacity for resilience and renewal.
It is.
So as we wrap up our deep dive, I'm struck by the sheer scope of War and Peace.
Yeah.
It's a novel that encompasses war, love, loss, spirituality. The search for meaning, it feels like a reflection on the human condition itself.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Tolstoy's masterpiece is a testament to the complexity of life,
Right.
the interplay of individual destinies with the grand sweep of history.
And while the novel is set in 19th century Russia, its themes and insights remain deeply relevant today.
Absolutely.
So is there one key takeaway, one overarching message that you hope listeners will glean from our deep dive?
If I had to choose one, it would be this. Life is messy, unpredictable, and often filled with suffering.
That's true.
But amidst the chaos and uncertainty, there are also moments of profound beauty, connection, and love. It's in those moments, I think, that we find true meaning and purpose.
That's a beautiful sentiment, and one that I think captures the essence of War and Peace.
I agree.
It's a novel that embraces the totality of human experience, the darkness and the light, the despair and the hope.
And it leaves us with a sense that even in the face of overwhelming challenges, life is worth living.
Yeah.
Love is worth fighting for.
Absolutely.
And the search for meaning is a journey worth taking.
I think we've done Tolstoy proud with this deep dive.
I think so, too.
We've explored the key themes, delved into the characters' journeys, and hopefully inspired our listeners to pick up this incredible book and discover its richness for themselves.
It's been a pleasure diving deep with you.
Likewise.
And remember, whether you're facing the grand challenges of life or simply navigating the everyday, there's always something to be learned from those who've come before us.
That's right. So until our next deep dive,
Yes.
keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking those moments of connection and meaning that make life truly worth living.